Well, welcome. We're back. It's Thursday night. This is so much fun and so different. We were trying this out. We heard you. We have our ear to the ground, constantly asking for your input. And one of the biggest things that we get back from you is that we wish that there were some things at nighttime, so that those of us who are working outside the home, I don't want to say not working, because if you're at home, girl, you are working. So if you're working outside the home, or if you're working at home but you're working virtually, you're not able to tune in with us live on the other times, we just want to give you an option. And so the third week of every month, we will not be live on Friday mornings. We're going to be live Thursday nights instead. So that's what we're doing. We're live over on Facebook streaming. There's so many ways that you can watch us live if you want to watch the replays. Would you let us know? Thank you. I'm a working mom outside the home. This was really helpful, or I'm not able to watch during the day on Friday. So we are excited. We need your feedback, because we want to make sure that we hear you, and we're doing all the things that help you out. There are so many ways also that you can listen to this. You're able to listen on podcast. If you need that podcast link, let us know. You can just, because some of you are better, you just want to listen while you're doing stuff, walk in or something. You can walk. We do have the portion membership. You go in there and it's like a library, and you can go back and watch all the old ones, watch the videos, watch everything. That's free. We can get that link to you. Just let us know on Facebook or down here. I don't know, just ask us. We'll know. If you go to the Rooted Cafe, KAFE.com, and when you go up into I think it's events, stores, resources, click in there, you'll see the portion free podcast. You click on that and you just get to do it all. It's all tells you how to do all the things. So that gives you that option. I think that's it. Brenda, hey, happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. It's so funny because today, since we were going to do the portion, it felt like Friday all day.
I know, right?
I was running around getting the garbage out and everything. I'm like, wait a minute, I have some time tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I gotta pin you. I'm trying to pin you on here. Where are you?
Pin me.
I lost you.
I'm in the.
I lost you.
I don't know where I am.
There you are.
I'm
You were
like
in somewhere. There you go. There's an added pin. There we are.
In the Netherland.
Super good. Okay, so you know what? This is really cool. Remember, tomorrow there's no portion. I'll say that one more time. So, guess what we're going to be doing in a couple weeks? It's like 3 weeks from now, right? In 3 weeks, there are a lot of you, and I think there might still be room. I do not know, because it's not our event. The Women of Valor are putting on their conference. It's going to be in Kentucky at the Banner Lake Resort. I think Barner something Lake Resort. And we're super excited to meet. We're going to be with all of our friends are going to be there. So we can't wait to touch all of you and hug you. There's those of you that are coming, super exciting. So here's some things you might want to know is on, first of all, super cool. Brenda will be one of your speakers there. Yay! Brenda will be speaking at the conference. I want you guys Friday, come over to the Rooted Cafe table. I have some goodies for you. So I want you to come so I can love on you, squeeze you, hug you, take pictures with you, or take pictures of you. You may not want my picture, but anyway. So note to self, more reasons to not have sugar and bread, so that I maybe lose 5 pounds before this. Anyway, so we're going to have a table there so that we can have a place for all of us to meet. Hopefully, if you get there and you can save seats, I feel like there's like 20 of us, something like that. There's going to be right around that. Saturdays, we're all wearing our Rooted Cafe t-shirts. I don't think it's too late for you to still get it and get it in time. It's 3 weeks away, so you'll still be able to get it. We're going to all be wearing our shirts so we can represent. Whoop, whoop. Fun though. Yay, Brenda, how fun that you're teaching.
Thank you. Oh I am excited.
So exciting. And it is you know what, I'm excited that about all the new members. We got a lot of new members that came in in our cafe membership from the conference. I'm just going to tell you, if you're new here, would you be like, hey, I'm one of the newbies. Just can't wait to get to know you. I can't wait to spend some time with you, get to know you. I hope you are not overwhelmed. I'm working on some ways to lessen that a little bit. We have guides helping you as well. Sydney and I are diligent to help work that out, but so much fun. I want to video chat with you. I want to see you. I want to get to know you. This will be fun. Good. Brenda, we have a new book.
It's my favorite book. But this time I mean it. I know you've heard me say that. You've heard me say it before, but this is
really your favorite? No, really.
Right today, right this minute. Yes, it is for sure.
Okay.
No, it really is. No, it really is. You know why? I think because it kind of covers it. It covers everything. So,
Yeah, that's good. I like
and
that too.
and two, I mean, if you have time for me to share right now, I'll just tell you that.
We have all the time.
Oh,
Hey,
we
that's
have
why
all
we're
the time.
here.
That's right. It's Thursday night and we don't have anywhere to go. We don't have to
Yeah,
rush
we're
off.
right here.
We're right here.
No.
So you all know that my mom passed away recently, and I was able to spend time with her before she passed, and it was just a blessed, anointed time that I was able to be with her. And it was really funny because today, when I was rereading the portion, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 through 3. If you guys don't know, it's what is it? 1
Oh, I
through
wrote it somewhere.
3
Deuteronomy
something.
1 through 322 and Isaiah
322.
1 through 127.
Yeah, in Isaiah. And so I was reading through that again today, and what hit me was that when my mom was getting ready to go in her last couple of weeks of life, she was like losing energy, but then all of a sudden she would like rally, and then she would just start like she would constantly be grabbing me and saying, "Precious, Precious, let me tell you something." And then she would talk to me and she would tell me these things. Well, I was reminded of that today when I was reading this, because this book of Deuteronomy was written the last 5 weeks of Moshe's life. 5 weeks he had left, and he knew he only had a very short period of time left, and that was it. And so Devarim, ah, get the tissues out. Devarim are those words. They're not just words, they're impartation of life that he is speaking forth and bringing it out into us and causing us to receive
Yes.
these
Yes.
magnificent downloads that he has got.
Yes.
He has spent the last 40 years face to face with El Shaddai, face to face with the Holy One, face to face. He was on the mountain for 80 days, 80 days with nothing but the Holy One to sustain him. And this is someone we need to listen to. And
Yeah.
here he is giving us these words and imparting not just to us, but of course to the people there, but to us too. He is imparting this wisdom from heaven. Now, when this was happening with my mom, she was visiting heaven and coming back, and then she would explain to us, well, I was just doing da 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 da, and this happened and this happened. And she said, what do you think about that? That's so crazy, because she didn't know. And we're like, oh my gosh, she's in the heavenlies. She's in the heavenlies. This is what's happening there. She didn't know. But anyway, Moses was in the heavenlies. He was seeing things from a different perspective. He was hearing the words of the Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth, not like a prophet like we know now, where a prophet has a download from the Holy One and then it rolls around within him and then their words bring it forth. No, the first 4 books of the Bible, it says, and God said. So Moses is scribing it, but God's saying it. But in the book of Devarim, it's Moses saying it, because he's telling you, he's seeing it from this perspective.
Yeah.
And he's telling us this. And it was like what my mom did. She would tell us these words and she would say these meaningful things that she had to get out because she knew that her time was limited. That's what Moses was doing here. So when we read the book of Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy, if we will just look at it from the perspective of Moshe, now not being the prophet, but now he's being our father. He's being our rabbi. He's being our teacher. He's saying, please listen to me. And if you notice, his tone's different in the book of Deuteronomy,
Brenda, don't
right?
you feel like he it's almost like he has your face and he's going, look, listen.
Yeah,
listen.
he's doing this.
Come here,
he's
come close.
Come here, honey.
Come here, come close.
Come here.
Yeah.
I want to hold you. I want to show you. Let me just no, shh, listen. That's what he's saying to us. Shh. Hey, listen. And that's what's happening. And so when we're hearing these words, when you hear these words, when you hear these hyperlinks, I mean, Charlie, right? The whole first chapter of this book is nothing but hyperlinks. It's like, was that there last year? Because I'm not quite sure that I caught that last year.
Right.
But anyway, I
Yeah.
just wanted to explain to you from my perspective, Charlie, how that
I
hit
love
me
that.
this week, like my mom doing that to my face and going, "Come here,
Oh,
precious. Come here, precious. Let me
yes.
tell you. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
I love you. Let me tell you, this is
Mm,
important. I love you." And here we're reading this, and that's exactly what Moses is saying. You know, it's just woo. And
oh,
he's telling us some of the things, that we didn't do so great, because we're going to be going into the land, and the cloud covering's not going to be with us, and the fire at night is not going to be with us, and we're not going to be protected from the enemy seeing us. We will be uncovered. We will be living with the enemy. We will be living in a pagan land. We will be in the midst. We'll be working with people who don't believe the way we do. We're going to be working alongside heathen people. We're going to be
yes.
experiencing cultures that we've not experienced before. Remember, a lot of these people just grew up in the desert. A lot of them
Yes.
have known nothing
Hmm.
but the desert, and
Yeah.
they were they were there. That's it. Now all of a sudden they're going to go into this whole thing that's going to be completely different, and Moses is trying to get their attention and say, "Listen to
Yeah.
me. These are the things that have happened before. This is the stuff that's gone
Hmm.
on. This is how you
Hmm.
reacted, responded." And when he says you, it wasn't them maybe necessarily, it was us for sure, but people in general. And then he's saying, so don't do it that way, because
No.
the Holy One is with you. That's what he's telling
Yeah.
us. So if we can look at this book from that perspective, I just think that we'll really enjoy it.
We're going to really enjoy this book because it's like he's saying it. And for those of you who are like, well, I didn't get all the other stuff before, and Leviticus is really difficult for me, then you're in luck, because
Yeah.
we're going into
Yeah.
Deuteronomy. He's like, let me just summarize this for you. This is like, we have like
Yeah.
Moshe who's coming in this, and he's going, this is his farewell address, right, to the people.
Right.
And he's saying, like, let's do a refresher course now for the newbies. We're going to go through a refresher course. This is how you're going to enter into the land. So I want to make sure that you have all the tools, like Brenda said, and you'll hear, if you read it, he's saying, don't be afraid. Adonai is saying, don't be afraid.
That's right.
Don't be afraid.
Don't
And you know
fear.
what, Brenda, when I was listening to this, I was thinking, I really feel like that's happening now for two
Yeah.
things. One,
Agreed.
when you said that here's some new people, there is a lot of times when you're first starting out on this journey, when you start in the way, we'll just call it that.
Yeah, let's
When
say
you
that.
start in the way, you're new, and sometimes he's so precious that you kind of get isolated a little bit, right? And where you're isolated, you get to learn, you're in like that little love bubble, and then all of a sudden you're around real people, and you want to overshare and you want to tell them really cool, and you get attacked, and they think you're crazy and you're in a cult. I mean,
Yeah.
you're wanting to go in, and he's saying, I want you to take it piece by piece. He's given, and I'm just really feeling like if you're new, you're not alone. It happened to all of us.
All of us.
Almost all. I don't know if it didn't happen to you, yay you. But for me, and I
Check
know
your
most of the
pulse.
people I know, yeah,
Check your
right.
pulse
I
if it
see
didn't
Marcia.
happen to
She's
you.
like me for sure. One of the reasons I know, when I told Brenda, I want to start this platform. I want to start a place where women can come in and they actually can dare to say, I'm scared. Everyone's attacking me. Is this normal? And not feel like you're alone. Like you have other people you can come back, run back to. You can come back to the camp and say, okay, okay, I told my friends this and they all thought I'm crazy. What should I do better next time? You're not alone. I hope you feel that way. You're not alone. We're all here with you. It's not stupid questions. You can ask the crazy things, and we want to be here for you. And this is a really great book for you to jump in if you're new with us, because we get to go through like the overview of all of it. What I love about the book of Devarim, let's just take the book. Hello, Devarim. It's means words in English. Okay, or let's do some Hebrew. It's the letters Dalet, Vav, Resh, and Mem Sofit. Now, some of you are taking Brenda's Energy of the Letters, her alphabet course in the Ruta Cafe. I'm just going to tell you, it's been life-changing for me, because I don't look at anything the same anymore. I see it. I've called her when we got on. I was like, oh, okay, I have the picture. I think does it mean this? So I'll tell you what I wrote down. I wrote down the door that connects the man to the waters of revelation. That's what I started with.
Yeah.
And then Brenda, you took it to level 49. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that when in Hebrew, when you have a Hebrew word, you know that all, and you guys hear me all the time say this, all the letters are relating to each other, right? So the story, each letter is adding to a story. But when you have a word, the first letter and the last letter, they have the letters that are in between them. They're surrounding that. And so if you're looking at the Dalet, it's surrounding the Vav and the Resh. The Dalet and the Mem Sofit are surrounding it. So the Dalet is the doorway, that place that of hope, that place of looking into the next realm, moving yourself into, remember movement, always movement with the Hebrew letters. The Mem is that thing that picks you up. Like think about the ark. The Mem is the water that picked up the ark and moved it exactly where it needed to go, moved it in the midst of chaos. It was cradling it, right? Because it's the Mem Sofit is Messiah Yeshua. And that's what the Sophete letters are taking you to, the ultimate of that letter, and that's
Yes.
Messiah. And so you've got the doorway and you've got the Mem, and it's picking you up and it's taking you into this adventure and connecting you. The Vav is connecting you, and the Resh is your head, your intellect, your influence, who you are influencing in your life, what you're thinking, how you're, that is all going on right here. And the book of Devarim is enclosing you
Oh,
with the Messiah and saying, let's go to the next step. Let's move into this next realm. You're connected to me. Don't worry. I gotcha. I gotcha. Now let's
yes.
watch and see how we influence people as we go.
Isn't
I
that
mean,
amazing?
really? Come on.
I mean, and if you look at that and you're like, okay, the door, the connector,
Yeah.
the water of revelation, the ultimate revelation. I mean, it's a huge
Yeah.
picture of who Messiah is, HaTorah. And guess
Oh,
what?
I love that,
They
Charlie.
actually call it HaTorah. It's called
Right.
Mishnah HaTorah. It's the repetition of Torah, is what it's called, is an
Yes.
ancient name for this book. Mishnah HaTorah. Who did they
Yeah.
call Yeshua? HaTorah. He
Yeah.
was the word become flesh. He was HaTorah become flesh. This is him. He's
This
saying,
is
look, and I'm
him.
going to show
Yeah.
you, I'm the way, I'm the truth, I'm the life. No one comes
Yes.
to us. You have to come through me. You have to come through HaTorah. You have to come
That's
through this.
right.
You have,
Yeah.
I mean, that was my hashtags. That was all my little
Woo!
hyperlinks that were going in
That's
there.
a
And then,
beautiful hyperlink.
oh, I love that. I love it.
We could just stop right there and
I
like
feel like that.
just sit. We could just sit in that right there, Charlie. I'm telling you,
Mm,
that is so, so beautiful. Yeshua is the word made alive.
yes.
John 1:1, right? In
Yes.
the beginning was the word, the
The
Devarim,
Torah. The
which
Torah.
is
Yes.
Devarim. The
Word.
Debar is one of the words of Devarim. It's a cousin word to Debar, Devarim. So here you go. That's who he is.
I
He
love
is.
it.
Oh wow! And so we think that we can't find Messiah in the Torah. That's because we've been blind.
And
He's
you know
right
what?
there.
I'm
He's
just saying, I'm
everywhere.
hyperlinking all over the place because he says it's like honey on my lips.
Oh yes.
Debar is the picture of a honeybee. Debar is that picture of the honeybee. That's like you were saying that to me. You're like,
Yeah.
this is Debar. It's
Yeah.
something
This is
personal for
this
me,
is
but
you.
you were like, it's not a bee. Oh, it's a honeybee. No,
Mm-mm.
it's what a bee does. It
Yeah.
vibrates with its vocal cords, with its
Yeah.
words. It
Yeah.
vibrates the atmosphere and draws the goodness out and produces food to feed people. That's what we're going to see through this. This is a book
Yeah.
that might shake
Yeah.
you up a little bit, but
Mhm.
the reason is because it's trying to get you in alignment. So
Right.
then it brings nourishment to your body. It's
Right.
nourishment for your soul. You're going to hear
Amen.
David saying that. I mean, right? How many
Yep.
times? Oh, this was
Right.
like, oh, it's honey on my lips. Oh, it's food to my, I mean,
Right. It's bitter in
can
my
you have,
it's
you
bitter in
should
my
be having
stomach. Yeah.
hashtags going like
Mm.
link,
Awesome.
hyperlink,
Awesome.
hyperlink, hyperlink.
Ezekiel, devour my word.
Yes.
Eat my
Yes.
scroll. Come
Yes.
on. Why? Because it's going to be honey to your lips and it's going to be bitter in your heart. Why is it going to be bitter? Because it's going to change you. It's going to
Mhm.
shake you up. And that's what, Charlie, that's what you were saying about you were saying nutrition, like to feed people. Well, what are we doing? What are we producing? How are we influencing? Remember the Resh? How
Right.
are we influencing those around us? How's that
Man,
happening?
man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God.
And scene.
Devarim, mic drop.
Mic drop.
And the scene. Yes.
And
cut.
Scene. Cut.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, what else can we say? I mean, really.
And that's the book, everybody. That's the book, y'all.
That's the book. And that is the way it is.
Yes. Millie, you said we want to repeat all that in writing. Haha. Yeah. Well, the good news is if you look in your library under this week's, we actually transcribe all of these. So they're downloadable and there are transcribed. So those are in your cafe library, the transcriptions. I cannot guarantee the editing because we say crazy words and the transcription is not edited. So read at your own risk.
It might say pizza.
And we said
something else.
maybe we're glad it said pizza. I don't know.
And anyways, if it says something else, Charlie probably said it. Just
right.
To say. Nurse Charlie probably did say that.
Oh my God, I love it. Hey, we have the Haftarah on this is in Isaiah, and I just have to do a quick little plug.
Oh my gosh.
Starting when we start Genesis over again in October, we have the blessings of every single week. Our Gail Heaton writes out the Parsha points for us, and she gives us the ancient Near East perspective. I know, right? I'm like, her genius blows my brain. So she is now, because she's done this for the whole year, she's done the ancient Near East perspective on each one. So I was like, so what are you going to do? And she's like, she is actually going to do the Haftarah. She's actually going to be doing that now as her Parsha points. So she'll be diving into that. It's going to be super fun. It's kind of new for her. So she's really excited to share as she's learning.
I love
that. Which it's going to be, she's already started studying. She's already I can't even
I adore
wait.
her. I mean,
we love you, Gail.
We love you, Gail.
Yeah. So good. Everyone's shout out, and she loves hearing from you. So tell her what you love. Please leave your comments in there when you read her Parsha points. Please give her feedback, because that really is inspiring. Not to feed her pride. She's not that person, but she just knows that you're reading it and you're there, even if it's a heart. Let her know. But I love that. So the ancient name is Mishnah HaTorah, the repetition of Torah. Okay. The Greek is Deuteronomion. Okay, here we go. Deuteronomion. So Deuteronomion. Deuteronomion. Or second law. That's the Greek. The Greeks called it the second law. That's how we got the name Deuteronomy. So there's your fun facts. Fun fact for that.
All Greek to me.
Yeah, it's exactly. Basically, he's just saying, this is how we got here, y'all. He's like up there saying, y'all, this is how we got here.
Yeah.
And some of you're not going to be going forward. This is everyone going to go across right now. Is the ones living. It was really interesting because he even tells them, I talked to you about this earlier, huh? He even tells them in the beginning, where did I write it down? Early verse, like verse 39, 139. He's like, these little ones, you all thought they were going to be the plunder. You thought they weren't even going to get to go in, but guess what? They're going to be going in because they don't have the same knowledge of good and evil as you do. I mean, basically what he's saying is you can't take your baggage into the promised land. We need to get this all set up. I want you to go empowered. I want you so full of the word and so empowered.
Yes.
You know why? So you know who you are.
Amen. Let's get down to it, Charlie. That right there is the crux of it. I love it. That's the crux of it. We need to know who we are so that we can do this. If we don't know who we are, then how do we know how do we know how to walk? If you don't know who you are, you're lost.
No, and that's why so many people are so caught up on like, I want to do like 23andMe or ancestry.com is because we want to know who we are. We want to feel like we're attached to something. We want to feel those things. It's a thing inside of us that we want to know who we are.
Exactly.
But this isn't, the other thing is you want to know when you get in there, like, how do I walk this out? He is empowering them. Yeah. He's empowering you.
Yes.
To take your promised land, to walk in your calling, to take over the things that were promised to your grandparents, your parents.
That's right.
He's calling you forth right now. He's shaking things up in your home, in your life, with your children. He's saying it's time for us to go into another level. It's time for us to do this. And this is so important. I just feel it in my bones. It is so, so important for us to pay attention to this book at this time.
Amen. I believe that. Charlie, I really feel that was a prophetic word that you just said. It's really important for you to grasp a hold of who you are. And if your ancestors weren't able to make that movement, to make that leap of faith, he says that he visits every generation, and he will visit the sins of the fathers upon every generation. 7 generations, 7 generations, 7 generations. Why does he do that? Because he wants each and every generation to be redeemed, and he wants each and every bloodline redeemed.
Yes.
And he will be in the face of everyone in that generation to allow that change, that turn, that shuv, that return to him. That's his goal. That's his heart. That's what he does. That's why we're here, right?
Yes.
We're here to be part of that. That's why we influence people, because he's done it for us. So we want that to be the thing that's released from us also, right?
It is. And we can look at this
the
book
generations
too.
redeemed.
Absolutely. And this book is set up. This is just a nerd fact, but this book is actually set up crazy. This book is quoted it's like the Yeshua quoted Deuteronomy more than any other, like many other Torah book. We won't talk about Isaiah or anything, but like as far as Torah, over 80 times in the New Testament. Okay. Beautiful. And it's set up, it follows the same patterns of an ancient Near East covenant document. So it's been great. This is like nerdy for everyone who needs a little something nerdy, but it is actually the suzerainty. How do you say that? Suzerainty treaty.
I can say it in my head.
Yeah, me too. So anyways, it's the S word treaty, suzerainty treaty. And that just means that in the ancient Near East, it was when a great king was coming into covenant with a dependent or a lesser nation, and it's defining the relationship between them. So this is set up again for Moses. All he's doing basically is reading the ketubah. He's reading this document, the marriage document. You see, he's reading this agreement. He's going through it again, just saying, if this is who you are, this is who I am. When you do this, I do this. I'm going to go before you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to do all these things. This is a book full of the covenant. Full of it, full of it, full of it. It's full of love, full of love. It's part of the covenant. He's telling you how much he loves you, and he's telling us how much he wants you to love him with all your heart.
Yeah.
And all your mind and with all your strength.
Amen.
That's what he's telling you. That's in here. He's telling us about listening, obeying, and he's telling us about how to remember, how we're supposed to remember. I screenshotted, this is like the Gail party today. I screenshotted what Gail wrote on the portion. So for those of you who didn't get to read it yet, this is some terms that are in this book that we're going to go through the whole book. So it's super important that you have these as a basis. Shema, the word Shema, you're going to hear, listen, obey, as in we will listen to your voice, respond to the words in a positive way, letting those words change your way of thinking, speaking, acting, and our relationships. You're going to hear Shema, hear, O Israel. Every time you hear, I want you to see Shema. And it isn't just like, oh yeah, I heard it. Because there's so much noise. Isn't it just perfect? Oh, I love it. Isn't it perfect that there is so much noise? Isn't that, I think that's a tactic of the enemy. If he brings a bunch of noise, we can't Shema.
Right. Distracts us.
And we're going to hear that in here is that he's going to be telling us, I need you to Shema. Then he says, I'm going to need you to Shamar. I need you to keep. And I'll read what Gail wrote on this. We will keep your covenants. This means we consider them valuable enough to protect, to cling to cherish. Like in Psalms 121 said, God keeps Israel. We're going to, as much as he keeps us, we're going to keep his command. You know why? Yes. And I had written this down in one of my notes in this portion, is that when people see us keeping, shamaring, they see us keeping and guarding and protecting the covenant, the covenantal timeframes, the covenantal acts, whether it's what we're eating, whether it's the calendar we're going by, whatever it is, if he's seeing us protecting his word,
Mhm.
it's no one else is, it's going to be different, and it's going to draw them in to say, what? I mean, haven't you been around a couple and you're like, whoa, I want to be like them. They're loving to each other. They're respectful to each other. They're
Yeah.
keeping their covenants with each other. Not just they're not running around on each other, but you can tell that they actually, the way they walk it out every day. And that's why everyone wanted to follow Yeshua, because he was walking
Right.
it out.
Yeah.
And they had never seen anyone do it in so much love. It wasn't about the rules. It wasn't about this, oh, I have to do this or I'm going to, it was about the loving way that it brought you into covenant relationship with him. So that made that different. And then to asah, A-S-A-H, to asah, to do, as in we will do what you say. She quotes Bill Bullock in here. She says, interact with raw materials creatively, the way a potter interacts with clay, working with it, molding it, and forming it until it gradually becomes something useful, valuable, and beautiful. That's what we're to do. We're to asah. We're to do it.
Yes.
We hear it, we keep it and guard it, and then we do it.
That's right.
We get to partner with him, Brenda. We get to
I
partner with him in this
know.
covenant. We are co-creators in this whole,
Right.
we get to be we get to be so part of it. What a gift.
Seriously, a gift.
Yeah.
It's him taking our face in his hands and saying, listen to me. This is really important.
Yeah.
This is what you get to do. I trust you. I'm giving you this responsibility. I trust you. That's what he's doing with us. He's trusting us.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's just beautiful. I love those 3 words. Those are the 3 words I think that if anyone wants to, like if you really want to start figuring out what it means to walk in covenant relationship with him, you start with the Shabbat, right? I mean, that's like the basic fundamental is you start with Shabbat. In Hebrew, when you're wanting to figure out what does this mean in the word, those are the first 3 words I think that you should really learn and really meditate on and really focus on. Every time you see the word obey, hear, listen, that's the word Shema. And it's not just with the ears, it's with everything in you. It's the tuning fork of the music making you vibrate to the sound of the tuning fork.
Yes, you should feel.
That's it.
I have to tell a funny story, but this just flashed a picture. I was in the car one time with my husband. He was listening to something on the radio. It was a baseball game or something. He was listening, and he couldn't quite hear what they were saying. So he leaned in and turned up the radio and then listened because he wanted to really hear what was happening. And I was driving, and I remember looking at him and going, I wish you did that to me. Like, when I'm talking, that you stopped everything, leaned in and turned, like really focusing, because I don't want to miss a word. That's Shema.
Wow, it so is. And then going, yep, and getting it done. And that shamar, that keeping, that tending, that's like what a gardener does. You see a weed, you're like, oh no, not in my garden. No. That little aphid, not in my garden. It's like keeping all the things that would prevent this garden from being the most fruitful that it can be. You keep all of those things away, like Abraham did. What did Abraham do? He shooed away the birds, right? It's like you keep those things away that are going to corrupt your garden, the things that are going to ruin your crop, because you love your garden. And so that's your shamar. So when he's telling you to keep his commandments, it's not because he wants you to be robots in this obedience that you think is going to make you earn something. It's not that at all. It's walking it out because all of a sudden your heart's beating at the same rhythm that his heart's beating. And his music is resounding in you, and now your hearts are beating at the same rhythm.
Yes.
That's why he wants us to keep his commandments, so that we know him, so that we understand him, because it's the way he thinks, not the way we think. His ways are higher than our ways. We don't think like that.
No, and this goes right back to when you're hearing, if you abide in me and my word abides in you, Shamar, whatever you ask, it's going to be given to you. Why?
Right.
Because you know the rules of the house. You know
Yeah.
the heart of your Father. You know what you can ask for and give it to him. So you
Yeah.
can, without hesitation. And this is, it's always worth repeating. There's a few things you'll always hear us saying, and this is one of them, is when you are abiding with the Father, when your heart is in tune with him and you're in alignment, and you know his word, you know his covenants with you, you know his promises to you, and the commandments, whatever you ask is going to be given to you. Why? Because you're not going to ask for crazy stuff.
Right.
You're going to ask for things that align with his heart, because your heart will be like your Father's.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? You're not going to ask for him to throw down you want a new mink coat and you need a brand new Range Rover. I mean, not that those are bad things. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that's not what your heart is going to be longing for. You know what your heart's going to long for? The redemption of your family.
Yeah.
The
Exactly.
salvation of your children.
Yeah.
The healing of someone. And guess what happens? You can ask for that. And with confidence, you can start not begging him for it. You're not a beg. He's never seen the righteous forsaken, right? We don't have to beg. You can say, thank you, Father, that you are healing my children. Thank you, Father, you're bringing redemption to my bloodline.
Amen.
Thank you, Father, that whatever I ask in your name, you're going to give it to me. And I know it is your will that my family is redeemed, because you said you're going to chase them down 7 generations. So I'm going to stand in the gap, and I'm going to go with you, because I'm not. Can I come too, Dad? I'm going to chase my kids down. I'm going to chase down my family in love, and I'm going to walk this out so loving that they can't help but want to be with me.
Absolutely.
You know what else you're going to pray? Father, change my heart.
Yes. Yeah.
Father, make my heart like your heart.
Yeah.
Father, would you help me understand your word, because it's confusing and I don't understand it? Would you help me? Because I don't know. I don't get it. It's really hard. And it seems like these guys are talking, and how do they know this is? But if you ask him that, I have.
I do all the
I can
time.
sit down and I start reading, and it used to be 1 or 2 words. Now it's paragraphs. Now it's the chapter. It comes alive. It sings to me. It wasn't always like that, sister. It was not always like that. I used to read it and be like, wah, 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 wah.
Charlie Brown's teacher.
Totally Charlie Brown teacher. And now I can't wait to learn one more thing.
Yeah.
Now it's like victory. We're going to go through this and we're going to see the victory. I mean, I want you to see Moses retells the whole story of the Amorites. Why does he do that? Okay, it's a war, big deal. That's what I want you asking. Why is he doing that?
Right. Why does he use those words?
Meditate on it.
Why did he use those words, Charlie? Why, those are the things we get to ask.
Yes.
Why are you using these words? What does this mean? Why did you say that twice?
You don't think he's going to any good father, if you ask for it, you think he's going to say, nope, not giving you that. Not going to tell you, it's a mystery. No, he wants you to read it like a love letter. You're like, why did he say that? You know why? Because he wanted to reinforce their confidence. Remember the Amorites? Remember when you kicked their heinies, their little patooties? You remember when that happened? That's the reason they used to put the altars up, to remind them of when God did something amazing. Remember when he brought water from the rocks? Remember when he fed us when we didn't have food? Remember when this happened? Because he's got to build them up, because he's about to go in. Sister, you're about to go take some land, and he's wanting to build you up right now. I think you might need to be getting your journal out and start writing out all the blessings of the Father. So you start telling your children, sitting them down, saying, you know what, when I was 3 years old, he healed me of rheumatic fever or whatever. I'm making things up. You need to go through the stories and tell your family, like, all the things that I love you. Thank you. My husband just dropped me off food.
Oh, love you, Randy.
You need to be retelling the story to your generations and encouraging their faith. Is, you know what? I was struggling, because some of us, we grew up, we don't tell our stories. But it was a long time ago when the Father told me, you need to live out loud. And you know what? It's hard sometimes, because people will hurt you. But you know what? No weapon formed against me will prosper, and every word that rises against me shall fail. So let me tell you, girls, I've had some hard times. I went through a really ugly divorce, and it was horrible, and it was hurtful, and my church left me, and they turned their backs on me, and I didn't make great decisions after that. I had a little wilderness tryst. I did my own little thing for a little while. You have to know that you're not alone. You have to know that you can be encouraged in the word. You have to be encouraged knowing that I fought the battle, and I won, because he was with me. It may look like wherever you're at right now, you're failing, but you know what? We all have Amorites. We all have Amorites.
and Hittites and
Jebusites
Jebusites
and all the ites. Go back to the
all the
go
ites,
listen to Deb. Go
termites, and
you need to listen to Dr. Deb's teaching from the conference on the ites. So good.
That is so good, Charlie. Your testimony is such a blessing because people can think that we, just like, oh yeah, that's easy because no. None of us are exempt from hardships. None of us are exempt from getting hurt. None of us are exempt from all the things that happen. And, none of us are. And so it's good. It's good to know. It's good to know that, we need to have story time sometime. Not
Absolutely.
now, but
and even the
story time.
Even for Israel, when we're stressing out about all the things happening in Israel, sister, do I need to read you some stories about what he has done for them?
Oh my gosh.
Some of us need to remember the historical review of the faith review of what happened in Israel and what's going on with him. Oh my Lord.
Hey, just this first chapter of Devarim, the very first chapter, every single verse is a hyperlink to remind. And I love how Moses did this. He puts words in there. He doesn't say, let's see. Okay, so when you were wandering around and blabbing your heads off and driving everybody crazy and slandering God, he didn't say that. He said, concerning the wilderness. I mean, is he a loving rabbi or what?
Yes,
that's what Moses said. Concerning the wilderness. What does that mean? It's a hyperlink back to when they were complaining. So what he's doing is he's saying, okay, remember when this happened and what the result of it was? I mean, you guys, how many times did plagues break out because of their complaining? How many times did plagues break out? Even on Miriam, the prophetess, she was amazing. She got caught up in the moment and she blew it and, publicly started browbeating Moses and talking bad, and all of a sudden she's got leprosy, and then she's healed, but she still had to be outside the camp for a week.
I have had to spend some time outside the camp, Brenda. I have talked about some of my leadership, and I'm pretty sure that was my penance. Is things happened to me and I was outside the camp for a while. Of course, I griped the whole time saying, nobody's calling me back. Why doesn't anybody hear me? No one knows my side of the story.
Right.
And then he reminds me that was my leprosy and that that was all that was oozing out of me and I was not fit for human consumption. So of course he wasn't going to let me talk to anyone else. He had to put me outside the camp so I wouldn't infect or affect other people. So if that's happening in your lives, let's get self-aware.
Yeah.
Because if that's happening, it's because he's protecting not just you, because he doesn't want that to be your reputation with others. Is it your crazy lady? He's trying to keep you away and he's trying to protect you from some of those things. Brenda, when I'm reading this portion, Parsha, I'm going to encourage you guys to do this. Go through and read it as if it's being read, as if it's being told to you. As if it was a letter written to you and reminding you about your history and your life. And there's a couple things that stick out. He's going to say, I see Marcia right in front of my face right now. So I'm going to say, Marcia.
We're going to pick on you today, Marcia.
Hi,
you
Marcia.
got a big smile on your face.
You ready? Here we go. Marcia, you've crossed the Jordan going into Moab. And I'm going to explain the Torah and say to you, Adonai, your God, spoke to you at Horeb, and he has told you, Marcia, that you have stayed long enough at this mountain.
For sure.
He comes back and he tells you later, he says, I spoke to you at times saying, I'm not able to bear this burden. You've felt like you couldn't bear it all. And he gave you solutions. And he says, look at the stars. Remember who I am. Look at the stars. I've told you who you are. Look up at the stars and remember, I said you were going to be as mighty as those. However, over in 34, he says, but when Adonai heard your tone of your words, he was a little angry. See what I'm saying, sisters? Go through, read it as if it's to you, because it is. He's saying, I heard your tone that one day. And That was my word. I have a Tree of Life version, and in verse 34, he says, when Adonai heard the tone of your words, he was angry. Oops.
We can't
It's
even
kinda
get
like-
away with a tone of voice, guys.
No.
Roll your eyes. It's in here.
Yeah.
Doesn't.
Yes. So good.
We
Yeah.
think we're getting away with it. We're not.
Yeah, we're not. And he comes back in verse 2. He says, and then he spoke to you saying, you have gone around this hill country long enough.
Loved us.
I feel like he's telling all of us today.
Yes.
He
Amen.
talks about the giants. Don't worry about the giants. Don't be afraid of the giants. Yep, they're going to be in there.
And don't provoke them.
Don't
Leave them
provoke
alone.
the
Leave them
giants.
alone. Leave them alone.
Miss Sassy Britches.
Yep.
Don't need to be provoking the giants.
Take your hand off your hip. Take your hand off your hip. Stop snapping at them.
Can I have the shirt? Can I just let me just how I got my hiney kicked. Can I tell my Home Depot
yeah.
story? Oh,
tell them your Home Depot. Oh man. Please do, so I don't have to tell a story. Please do. Save me the embarrassment.
Guys, pray for me. It was actually Lowe's. I was in Lowe's. I was grabbing some stuff because we are finishing out we ripped everything out of our bedroom in the RV and we're redoing all that, and it's almost done. Thank you. We're going to sleep in our bed tonight. But I'm in line. I'm tired. I'm hot. Hot and tired. My body doesn't feel good. I have all the excuses. There's a lady walking around with a few kids. She's got one of those, she's pushing her cart and not really self-aware or others aware. And she's got this big long carpet inside of her thing. And so she's bumping more than once. She's blocking the aisle. I want to go down. So I'm having to go down and all the way around. And I'm like, I have no spoons left in my energy pockets here. And I have too many steps on my counter. I need to my body is not happy with me. I just want to be done. And everywhere this woman was and her children who were just like all over the place. And I thought, I went there. I'm just going to be honest. I went there. I was not very loving. And so I didn't say anything, but I'm sure I had eye rolls. I'm sure. So we get up to the counter. I check out, I get my stuff. And I said, oh, I need our military discount. And she says, oh, I have to do it over here. So I had to take all my stuff and just like 2 steps over, and no big deal. She did it. That lady pulls up, blocks the way so I can't get out, first of all, with her big old carpet. All her kids are running around bumping into me. And I was sensitive, painfully.
You're ouchy.
I was very ouchy. So they were touching me and it was, they were bumping, and then I should have stayed. I should have been outside the camp. This is the truth. So the lady's helping me and I'm giving her money, and she says, she's interrupting the whole, can you help me? Can you do this? And then she goes, as soon as I'm done with this lady, I'll help you. She goes, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were with someone. Now I'm almost shoulder to shoulder with this woman. So I'm not.
And you're a tall girl. So it's not like she didn't notice
5'9".
you.
Actually, I'm 5'8.5" now. Apparently I've shrunk.
Oh, okay.
So I'm 5'8.5", and I didn't, my head wanted to snap and be like, really? Like, that's what I wanted to do. So I thought I was being cool, but I wasn't. I look at the cashier and under my breath, I say, yeah, because we're not like right here handing you money. Like you can't tell you're with someone. That came out of my mouth, everyone. Mm-hmm. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I just didn't see. And I was like, I push the car. As soon as I got out the door, I didn't even get to my truck yet. I get out the door. The Holy One says, good thing she doesn't recognize you.
I know, man.
Now you'll never be able to minister to that lady because of your attitude. I was like, oh, like, good thing she isn't some lady who watches the portion. If you're there and you were at Lowe's and you saw me, I'm so sorry. I was a horrible person. But you guys, he is calling us to such a higher level, even our tones, even our eye rolls.
Yep.
It doesn't, if you don't feel good, don't go out, stay home.
Yeah, that's right.
Stay home.
Yeah. Do without.
That happened. So there you are, raw. That happened to me. I was not proud of myself. And and he said that well, it's a good thing that she didn't recognize you. So now I'm going to be in glasses and a hat. No, I'm just kidding.
just said in the chat, she said, I'm going to be home for a few years.
Oh, this is sister.
Why do you think I was alone in California for 15 years?
Oh, sister. You know, Brenda, isn't it
a mess.
interesting? Because let's turn it to you now because let's talk about
okay.
you.
Okay, fine.
So it's really, I
No.
love the fact that you were asked by Jane to teach at the Women of Valor conference because of this. Many of you guys don't know, Brenda was kind of sat back in the wilderness. And you know why? We were talking about this today. We were saying it's probably good that he didn't let us like roam free because we would have hurt people with all of our crazy religion. Right?
Yeah. Seriously.
Can you imagine, Brenda? We'd be having to issue lots of retractions.
Well, I think I'm banned from several states. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they've got a picture of on the airport. They got a picture with a line through it. It's like, not her. Don't let her back in here.
Oh, his timing is perfect, ladies. I really felt this whole time, and some of you personally, you know, I know that I'm going to pick you on you, Misty. Personally will constantly be saying it's get ready, Brenda, get ready.
No, it really is.
I want to shake you up. I want to be the Devarim. I want to be that bee that's shaking you up right now. And I want to say, get ready, sister, because he's about to do some things that he's saying. I need you to know who you are. I need you to get this down. Yes. I need you to fall in love with this so much that you're holding on to it and protecting it with all your life, because you know you cannot survive without it at the level I'm going to take you to.
Yep.
Because they were in the plains of Moab, looking across the Jordan and seeing Jericho, the first, right? They could have never taken Jericho. And listen, we said, okay, walk 7 times. They'd be like, what are you on crack? I'm not going to walk around that for 7 times. I'm tired. It's hot out here.
Yeah.
But they had just been pumped up. This is the big locker room thing where he's like, okay, guys, this is what's going to happen. We're going to go in and you're going to remember what happened when we fought them? We won. Remember, nobody died. Yay. Yeah. Remember when this happened? Don't do that again. Remember that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. It's the halftime rally in the locker room, guys.
Absolutely.
It's like, come on, we're going to do this. We're getting all pumped up. And the 7 times, I love that, because that is so significant. When you circle something 7 times, it's like at the wedding, at the wedding, you the wife, the Ezer Kenegdo, the one who attaches herself to as a guardian around her husband, walks 7 times around her husband, encircling him 7 times. That's that. And he gives her a ring, a circle that never ends. She circles him 7 times. He gives her a ring that never ends, and he puts it on her finger. She's circling him 7 times, saying, yes, I will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. Nothing will break my vow. I'm going to do this. Yes,
I'm going to protect you with my life.
With my life, with my words, with my thoughts. I will be your champion. I will protect you. I will keep you. I will stand up to you if I need to. I will be your helper.
Yeah, I will do hard things.
As the Spirit of God is our helper.
Yes.
And
ladies, I hope you feel that, because we circle you in prayer like that.
Oh my goodness. Every day, every single
we circle you in prayer like that. We will do
day.
the hard things. Sometimes it's fighting ourselves. Sometimes it might be fighting you, but we will do it, and we'll still be friends, and we're going to hold hands and be on the other end.
Yep.
This isn't going to be the group of women where you get in a fight and you get to leave, because we'll come find you. We'll be like, okay, hi, I'm here again. You're mad? Okay, me too. So what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk? Not talk, but you're in the covenant. We're in a covenant sisterhood here. So
not going anywhere.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Hi, it's me again. Knock knock.
Yeah, that is.
Brenda knows I'm that way too. Brenda visited me one time. I'm telling on you. Brenda was visiting me one time, and I said something that hurt her feelings. And so
I'm trying to remember.
She went to bed. She goes, I'm going to bed early. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
Vista. I was in Vista. You came to visit, and you went up to bed, and I knew I did something, but I didn't know what I had said because I have this mouth. So I went up there and I sat on the bed, and she's like, I'm really tired. I'm going to sleep. I'm like, no, what'd I do? She's like, nothing. I'm fine. No, you're not fine. What'd you do? I'm not going. So you might as well tell me, or we're just going to sit like this all night long. So finally, she told me, and then we got to fix it. I got to be sorry. But That's how we need to be with our families.
Oh
With our,
my gosh,
I mean,
yes.
sometimes he may say, "Hey, I need you to put a boundary here. I love this person from afar because they're toxic and they're hurting you."
Yeah, right. Oh, 100%. Yeah, yeah.
I have some boundaries. I
Mhm.
am very confident in setting boundaries.
And God's
So
got boundaries. He
God's
has
got
boundaries
boundaries.
that covers all of that stuff. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Why do I feel like we're all over the place? Was it
We are.
all over the place today?
No, we're not. No, no, no. And you
Just
know,
intro.
the thing that this is the intro. This is verse 1. So so the thing I love about you saying that, Charlie, I really didn't remember. I was really like searching my mind, like, when did that? What did that? But I remember now, um, because what happens is we all have baggage. So whatever it was, I don't remember the exact thing it was, but whatever it was that Charlie said to me that hurt my feelings, it hurt my feelings because I was carrying baggage that I wasn't supposed to be carrying. And so and so we had to work it, and we did. Oh my gosh. And I love that she doesn't let go, just like I won't let go. Huh?
No.
I won't let go either.
No. So
Yeah. And
when we're
that's
saying that,
just,
we're serious. And there's a
we're
few of you in
serious.
here. I can't see all the names in here, but there's a couple of you might have had, hey, I don't agree with you on something. And we either agree to disagree, but we still love each other. We don't stop
100%.
talking. We like dive in and hang in because that's what we're here to do. And of
Yeah.
course, we're going to all be different. Of course, that's going to happen. But I am not going to let us be a place where we say, well, I don't, it's a bunch of women. It's going to be,
Nope.
no, we are all Azer Conegdos. Put your big girl panties on and go fight for your
Exactly.
girlfriends.
That's right. Love them.
Love them to death. Maybe you just be like, I'm mad at you right now, but I love you. And I need a couple of days to calm down because whatever I say is not life-giving, but I love you too much to say what I want to say right now, but I am getting back to you and we are not breaking up.
That's right. No breakups. No, we need to be supporting. I had a wonderful conversation with Jane Diffenderfer on Tuesday over in the cafe. I have a program on Tuesdays where I get an opportunity to meet with people in our community and other people and interview them. It's wonderful, called Tuesday Talk. And anyway, Jane was on there and talking, and we were talking about how valuable it is to have communities of women that truly understand that we don't have to agree on everything. In fact, it's a lot better if we don't. I mean, how great is it that some of you are going through completely different calendars than what Charlie and I are on?
I love it.
And we're not saying we're right and you're wrong, or you're right and we're wrong. We're saying we've got some differences. And one day Yeshua's going to be back here and he's going to work out all the calendar stuff and we're all going to be on the same calendar. And until then, we get to love each other in the midst of it and not judge each other, but support one another. When somebody else is going through a holiday that we've already been through, send them your stuff. Like, hey, don't buy anything. I've got extras. Send it to them, or pass it along. Instead of saying, well, they're not celebrating on the right day. Forget that.
That's what they said about the Samaritans. And guess what? Yeshua went to the well and sat with her because they weren't doing it the right way.
They weren't doing it the right way.
So there's a couple ladies who I've asked to leave from I'm this right here. Here we go with everything today. The portion. The reason is because they were hateful and they were hateful to other women. And like, well, if you can't handle controversy, I'm like, there's nowhere biblically that says we're supposed to have controversy. Nowhere does it say that's how we love each other. Yes, I saw someone say iron sharpening iron. Yes, but that's respectfully.
That's respectful.
And you guys are rocking it. Can I just say rocking it in here? I'm loving when someone asks a question and people don't have the same opinions and they're loving each other the way they answer hot topics, because we are watching. We watch it. We protect you. We're as they're doing in there. We have ladies that are moderators that they're watching, not because we're controlling. Oh, dear Lord. No, it's because we're protecting from someone. If you can disagree lovingly.
Yeah.
And what a great way to bring great reasoning together. Isn't that beautiful to reason together?
Yes.
Okay. I can tell. I want to brag about like Erica, Sombra. If you want friends who are it doesn't matter if they're on a different calendar, they're doing something a different way. It doesn't even matter. Those sisters will love on you like nothing. And I mean, amazing. And you'll never know. I mean, it'll be like, oh yeah, I do it this way, but they'll jump on and explain it to you and not try to win you over to their way.
Right.
I can't even tell you how much I love that.
I know it. I know. And it's so beautiful to see the dynamic. And yeah, we jump in on conversations, and a lot of times Charlie and I, and well, Charlie especially, but me when I have a chance to get in there, we won't always answer the questions. If you notice, like when
Mhm.
people are asking questions, you're not wanting our answer. What you want is dialogue. What you want is people saying, well, this is what I have, this is what I'm bringing to the table. And you can, and lovingly, you don't have to agree with everything. That's fine. But being respectful, we will ask you to be respectful. If you're not respectful, we will ask you to be respectful. And if you're not respectful again, then we'll take your comment off. We want you to be respectful of one another. But go ahead and say, well, this is what I got from that, or this is
Yes.
how I understand that. And I love that, Charlie. You're so right. You women are awesome. You give different perspectives because each one of us is filled with the spirit of the Holy
Yes.
One. And we're
Mm.
all walking this out from our own personal perspective.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it beautiful and unique. And it's
Yes.
not that one's better than another, but
Mhm.
all together, look what we have. None of us are complete in ourselves, but together, look how beautiful that is.
It's beautiful. And it
Yeah.
seems like what does this have to do with everything? This has everything to do with everything because this is how you shamar, asa. This is how you
Exactly.
do those
Yeah.
things. And we can't learn how to do it without being in community with one another. And
Mm-mm.
he's talking to them as a community.
Yeah.
He's talking to all of them. This is like campfire talk. They're
Yeah.
sitting around saying, this is what's going to happen. This is how we're going to do things. This is just a beautiful going through. I can't encourage you enough just to go back through and reread it as if it was something being read to you.
Someone asked, what does a saw mean? A saw means to do. It's a building term. It's
Yes.
to do. It's to build. It's to put something together.
Mhm.
And so it's walking it out. It's not just doing it and being done with it. It's walking it out, and now it's something that has become part of who you are.
Good.
So it's purposeful. It's purposeful doing. Yeah.
Yes.
One of the things too we didn't even talk about with Devarim is the actual word Devarim in the Hebrew means setting things in a row. I always thought that was really interesting. Like, how does that figure in with anything? It's setting things in a row, arranging things in an order. It's orderly, and setting things in a row means to lead, to guide, especially talking about flocks and herds. Okay, so now are you getting the little hyperlinks to Yeshua? Feed my sheep.
Mm.
Are you getting that now? Devarim, feed my sheep. Okay. And it means to bring into order, to a pasture, to rule, to direct a people, to follow, to be behind, to subdue. So it's talking about putting things in order. His words, the Spirit of the living God speaking forth his words, are setting us in order. At the fall, we had chaos, right? And so he sets his word, sets us in order. It sets everything up so that it is perfectly aligned with him. It's building terms. Think about everything is building.
Oh,
Everything is
so good.
building. He's building a family. He's building the temple. He's building the
Mm.
place where he'll dwell. Everything's being built. So
Yes.
when you're a sign, when you're doing, those things are being put into order. When you shema and you're listening, you're setting your heart and your mind in order. Now all of a sudden things are being laid out properly. When you're keeping things, you're grabbing hold of things, you're holding on, you're caring for, you're guarding them, you're protecting them, and then you're walking it out and doing
Yeah.
it. So
You,
Shema,
you know that's
Shamar,
my jam.
Asa.
You know
That
that's my
is your
jam.
jam.
Talking about order and I
Oh,
love me
I
some
know.
order. I love me some systems and some order. That's my
Yeah.
favorite. You all wanted my love language? Yeah, send me a spreadsheet. That's I'm just so excited. Or a good Trello board. Send that to me. I just had a visual of something when you were talking about
Mhm.
Devarim. I was just seeing because, and I have this is just new girls for me this year is really trying to learn the letters. I'm not trying to speak Hebrew yet, but I'm trying to learn the letters and
Mhm.
seeing the energy of the letters through Brenda's course. So I'm seeing the Dalet for the Devarim. I'm seeing the Dalet
Yes.
and I'm like, it's a door.
It's a
And Yeshua
door.
says he was the way, the door. They called the
Yes.
way into the tabernacle, the door that went in there, the way. He says he was the way, the truth, and the life, that no one comes to the Father except through him.
Yeah.
I just keep seeing this over and he says, I stand at the door and knock.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock.
if anyone hears me and opens Shema,
Yeah.
Asa, all the words, if anyone
Yeah.
I'm knocking, he's at the
Yep.
door. If we
Yep.
open that door, that dalit, he's
Mhm.
saying, I'm going to connect you to the revelation. I'm going to give you
Mhm.
living waters, right? He's saying, if anyone, I will sup with them and them with me. Remember, we talked about it being food. It was like nourishment. Sister, there is nothing new in the word. There's nothing new under the sun. The word doesn't contradict itself. You should constantly see hyperlinks. Constantly. I used to really regret that I was not raised in a Jewish family or a Messianic family. I used to say, Father, why did you let me go through being a Christian? Like, I don't want to say it that way because I don't mean it that way. I don't mean it like being, because I still consider I'm a follower of Christ, of course. Why did he let me go through the church and do the hurts and the things that I went through the way that I did? I didn't understand. I felt lied to. I felt like people didn't teach me truth. I didn't understand. I was confused, especially as a minister. I'm like, I'm a minister and I'm teaching and why didn't you tell me? I mean, I went through that phase, right? And I know that some of you have gone through this phase too, and it's just confusing.
Mhm.
And he reminded me, when we're sitting here and you're sharing things or things are happening, I get these hyperlinks. Why? Because I studied the word under those people
Yes,
as a
you did.
girl in Bible study, as a girl in Bible quiz team. And I had to study chapters and memorize chapters and chapters and going through missionettes in the Assembly of God and memorizing so many scriptures and tons of memorization. You know what? I probably wouldn't have done that maybe if I had gone through a messianic home or a Jewish home. I wouldn't have memorized the New Testament and the scriptures that I needed to know. That now when we're going through stuff, it's a hyperlink. I'm like, oh, that's what that meant. That's what he was saying.
Exactly.
Now it's alive and it makes sense to me. And so I no longer begrudge those. But some of you, maybe if you're going through that, just know you're not alone and feel free. You can help. You can reach out to us because it's a struggle. But just know all things work for your good, right? All of it. It's the emunah life. It's all good. He's going to make it all good. So there was a reason you went through what you went through. There's a reason you learned the way you learned. There's a reason you started where you started, and now you're going to end where you end, or not. Maybe you're going somewhere else. Well, I don't know. But
so good. Let me show everybody a dalit.
Okay.
There's a dalit.
Down a little bit. Down a little bit. There you go.
Is it facing the right way, Charlie?
Yes.
Okay. So there's the dalit. And look at this. This is the hay. It's a dalit with a yod right there, which represents God. This is Yeshua
God.
standing at the door. There's Yeshua standing at the door. So there's the door.
Because he wants to have revelation. That's what the hay.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Hey, look at you. You know these things.
Well, I love that because that word hay, the hay.
Hey.
I mean, we say it like hey, but really it's that out breath. It's that breath. Love. It's the breath of
it's the pants.
So good.
It's the breath. It's the beautiful breath of God. Oh my goodness. We have so much to talk about.
Charlie.
Yes.
There's a question on Facebook. Tasha's asking if you can answer what is a zero connecto.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. Yes.
Okay.
That's awesome. It's really fun when the first time I learned about Azer Connecto, I think I read it in Skip Moen's book. And I think we have that book in our, it's the link to the book in our store. We're not selling it. It's just, we try to put things in there to make it easy for you to find and go to Amazon and get it or whatever. And we do have an affiliate link in there, just so you know that it is attached as well. So we love that you use that.
We appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for that. It's really helpful. I mean, I have to share, do you guys know our Zoom bill now is like crazy, and like our text I was looking at even our text messages. I'm excited because there's so many of you, but it's like $200 a month just to send texts out to everyone. So anyway, so
use your links. Even if it's only 3 cents per book, it's 3 cents per book.
Paying for that text message. The Azer Connecto, it was so cool when I read that because it was actually if in King James it was removed.
Yeah.
It's not in King James, but it is in the original text. The Azer Connecto is a battle term, and it's used as a warrior. It's a warrior term about protecting and surrounding and protecting. And he uses it to describe Guess who? Not Adam. He uses it when he pulls woman out of him. And he says, she's going to protect you. She's going to be the one who is a zer conegdo. She's going to be the one that surrounds you. She protects you. She's going to warrior fight for you. So it's beautiful. I don't know why it was left out. I have assumptions, which I won't share, which you can all think about, like back in the time, why they would have maybe not wanted a woman to be described as a warrior. I love the picture. Some of you have your picture of you like in the battle garment with a big sword. I mean, that's what he's describing. Brenda, you have anything to add to that? Is there a connecto?
It is. So the word azer, how the word azer is used in the Hebrew scriptures is when talking about God as your mighty warrior, as your protector, as your helper. It means helper. So when it says help mate, it's talking about that. It's that one that's helping. It's what the Holy Spirit does. It's what God does in battle. And so it is like Charlie said, it's a warrior term. And that's what the whole Proverbs 31 is all about. It's not about somebody who stays home and just takes care of the house. It's about somebody who is capable, that God created, capable of doing multiple things really well.
Yes.
And staying in your lane and doing the things that you can do really well. Never, ever, ever to override someone, to overshadow someone, but to come up alongside and to help. That's what we get to do. That is our character. And when we operate in that, it's beautiful because it's not competing. It's actually assisting.
Yes.
It's blessing. Yes. It's encouraging. And so it's used with Adam and Hava, what her role is in her life walk for the generations to come is to be that helper, the one who will stand in opposition. It actually is an opposition word.
It is.
And it's a standing in opposition. And a lot of women will run with that and they'll go, well, that's why I tell my husband off every time.
Someone who can go toe to toe with you and they can say the hard things and do the hard things in love, but it's working in love. It's not,
it is in love.
You know,
it's
you guys know us.
It's not for
super
selfish.
Pro men. We're not 100%. Don't think we're bigger, better, badder. We just think we both have our strengths. Really good. I just want to reach out. Sherry Miller made a comment. She said, just talked about being in the Church of God and really basically this is a lot of people where you go to church and you don't really read the word. You're just taking in whatever the pastor said. Most of us were that way. A lot of people were that way. I remember, I think I've shared before, I remember the pastor's daughter coming to me at one church I was a women's pastor at, and she came to me and she said, I don't know how to read the Bible. And she was like 35.
Embarrassed. And she was embarrassed because she was in leadership.
She's like, I don't know how to read the Bible. And you talk about it and you're so passionate about it. I don't know how. And so we got to go through it together because her whole life, her father was a very big pastor in the area. And she never had done it for herself. She just sat under someone and listened, which is most of us. There's no shame in that. But what we get to do now is we get to learn next year. It's going to be even better, Sherry. Next year, it'll even be better than the next year. It's going to even be better. It's so exciting. I mean, Brenda, say it. You are better at this. You are exactly where you're supposed to be.
You're exactly where you need to be. You are not behind.
You
are not behind. You're not too young. You're not too old. You're not too rich. You're not too poor. You're not too smart. You're not too non-smart. You are exactly where you need to be right now. And where you are is the place that God has placed you, and your influence is very important. The resh, that head, that's your influence. And you are exactly where you need to be with the people around you, surrounding you, exactly where you need to be. You don't have to know everything. Please don't think that you should know everything. We don't know everything. We're not even, please don't even.
We say crazy things. You better check us out.
Oh yeah, you better always check us out. So, but this is the really great thing is that you get to just relax and enjoy the spot that you're at right now. You're not going to be here tomorrow. You're on the fast track. And you're not going to be here in this place. So when you're here in this place, like Charlie's always telling in her coaching sessions, you are such a good coach, by the way, Charlie. In her coaching sessions, she teaches people to be present right where they are and not let these moments flutter away. Don't wish these moments away by wanting to be somewhere else so badly. Be in the moment, be in the present right now.
Yes.
As you are walking this out, be in
Yes.
this moment and
Yes.
enjoy the fact that, hey, there's so much I don't know. Woohoo! Yay! We're all, that's exactly, and the more we know we don't know.
Exactly. That's my favorite. When, I mean, I'm listening, I'm trying to look at the chats and I can't help it, but I mean, Erica is blowing it up, rock star. She's like, let the Holy One teach you. Sherry comes back and said she's afraid that she's misinterpreting God's word. You know what? The anointing will teach you. The Holy One will teach you, and reach out and ask questions.
Yeah.
Ask someone and then check out what they said and say, how do you know that?
Right. How do you know that? How do you know that letter is Dalet? How do you know that it means door? How do you know?
Then go look it up.
Yeah.
And we have free, if you go into our little cafe, the Rooted Cafe, KAFE.com, if you look under those courses, there's a section that says courses. There's a free one, the Blue Letter Bible. And Brenda and I take you through how to look something up. And it's a free course. If you're already a member, it's already in your library. And it's how to use the Blue Letter Bible. I think it says for not so dummies. So
yeah, Blue Letter Bible for not so dummies. And it's a very, 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 very basic how to do it.
Sherry, we're encouraged. Be encouraged. Yeah. Be encouraged. Be encouraged.
We're so excited for you. This is so awesome for all of you that are new or newer, or, you know, some of you have been doing this for 30 years. You could spin circles around us. Some of you are brand new.
Would you reach out to Sherry? Would some of you reach out to her? Would some of you who've been doing this for a long time, or maybe you're a day ahead of her. Maybe you're one year ahead of her, or 1 month. Or reach out to her. Would you Sherry Miller, would you guys reach out to her privately on here or on Facebook? You guys connect, make friends. We really want to encourage you to be connecting with one another and reach out with each other and do that. So, you know, you're talking about the Proverbs 31 woman, and we're going to wrap this up. But I had someone reach out to me. This happens all the time. I mean, not a lot. So I'll have women reach out and say, oh, I'm a really good speaker and I do this. Can I speak at your next conference? And I do this and this and this and this and this. The first thing I look for is when someone tells me, you know what, this is what I've been doing. I'll ask them, tell me about how you came to Torah. Let me know I want to hear about you. And what I'm looking for is for someone to tell me, the more I've learned, the more I don't know. That's what I'm looking for. Then I know you can be on my team. You can be on my team when you tell me, gosh, the more I'm learning, the more I realize I don't know anything. I mean, I feel like I'm a preschooler most days. By the women that we hang around with, I'm like,
seriously, me too.
I'm like, can I just hold your pen? I'll go sharpen your pencil. What do you need me to do?
Maybe it'll transfer. Maybe if I just hold their,
if I just osmosis. So that's the one thing. So I had this lady reach out to me, and she's, did the whole thing. And she's like, I'd love to speak. I loved your conference. Found you, blah, blah, blah. Someone invited me to the conference. So I came, and she sent me, I want to introduce myself. And I was, like, okay. And in that, she said how much she didn't know, and how the more she learned, the more she didn't know. And I'm like, okay, now you have my attention. And then we're chat back and forth. And she said, do you mind if I just send you, I wrote a book. Can I just send it to you? And I'm like, if you saw my book pile, sure. I can't promise how quickly I can get to this. So she sent me the book. And I downloaded, she says, I'm going to mail you the book, and the hard copy. She ended up sending me a PDF because I said, I downloaded the sample on Kindle just to read the quick sample. And then I'd know, no, don't waste postage. I got too much to read or something. Mm-hmm. It is the Proverbs 31 woman. And she takes you through the whole acrostic. Is that right? Acrostic, Brenda? The acrostic of the alphabet through the Proverbs 31. And Brenda teaches this as well, like off the hook. She teaches this different than Brenda has, like passionate energy in the letters. So you can get it from every direction, Yeah. Her name is Lauren Cruz.
It's awesome.
No. So you can see when we put in the portion, we'll see it says book club that we'll be starting out this month, that we're going to all be reading it together.
I can't wait, Charlie. I'm so excited to read it. I cannot wait to hear her perspective.
She starts off with, I was reading it and they're short. We'll do like 3 chapters a week because they're short. But when I know it, and I know the alphabet better, and I'm like seeing myself as I get to be an olive. The olive is the ox. I get to yoke myself with the Holy One. That my
Hallelujah.
husband needs me to rise up and be the woman who is strong in the Lord, who's
Yes.
strong with him,
Yes.
who's
Yes.
connected to him. I'm like, this is empowering me.
Yes.
Like, I'm like, I can't believe this
Hallelujah.
lady reached out to me. Like, really? How did she get my name? And so she's like, I want to
That's
serve you.
so
What you guys are doing,
beautiful.
she said, it is powerful. It is brave. You guys are, I love it. I want to be part of it. She sent me this. And then she says, hey, if you want, I said, well, I love this book so much. Do you mind if I'm just going to do a book club on it? And she's like, absolutely. And if you want, I'll show up and I'll help teach.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
show up for the book. I'm like,
What?
so the author of the book is now going to show up and help with the book club. And then she's like, oh, and she tells stories. So there's women who are married, women who are single, women who are divorced, women who are widowed, talking about how they get to be, because like,
Hallelujah.
who is like the rich lady with a bunch of servants? That's what you're thinking, but that's not what that's about. It's about what a strong, godly woman we get to be and who we're called to be for him. And if we have a mate. Okay, so she says, you know what? I'm going to get in touch with those women too, and I'll get a bunch of them to come in and pop in on these
Wow.
on these calls, and they can personally share their stories about how that I shared in the book. So not only are you guys going to get, and there's no charge. This is just you have to get the book. It's in the portion. Go find it. You get the book. It's that thing. And yeah, and we're going to meet every week on a Sunday evening. We'll meet Sunday evenings, and she's going to show up. And I don't know if every time, but we're just going to chat. She's going to chat with us, and the ladies are going to show up. How cool is that, you guys?
That's so beautiful.
And we're going to learn
Proverbs
Proverbs 31 from a point of view of the alphabet. So you hear us talking about it, how important it is, so that when you see letters, they excite you. So when you go to Blue Letter Bible, one sentence, just look up one verse and you're like, oh, I see 3 letters I recognize. I'm so excited. That's how I feel. Yes, it'll be a Zoom call. Yeah, it's going to be a Zoom call. We won't. Awesome. We might broadcast it live to Facebook. Why not?
Why not? Why not? Right? Yeah. Hey, real quick, Kim Allen has a question in here.
Yes.
And I wanted to just make sure that she was heard. Do you have a mentoring program for stepping into new endeavors? I'm starting my first book and I'm clueless to formats. So Kim, ladies, reach out to Kim. You ladies who are Titus women.
Yeah. Yeah, and Kim, get a hold of me, because if you need help like walking through that, that's my jam. So reach out to me if you need help just stepping through that process.
Yeah. You can message Charlie, email her or message her.
Yeah.
And ladies, Kim is new, and let's bless her. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's help her out. Let's help everybody out who wants to.
I want to end with this. I want to end.
Are we ending? Is it time already?
It's time.
Really?
I want to end with, I can't remember the verse. I mean, I know I wrote it down. I want to end with, because I think this is important, because I think this is right to you. Oh, where's my notes? There's so many. And I think it's in 110, in 110, when what happens is he starts telling them about God has
multiplied you.
That he's multiplied you, that you're going to look at the star, you're going to be like the stars. He reminds them of that. If you go to Isaiah 40, verse 26, basically the whole chapter of Isaiah. Yeah. I mean, this isn't the Haftarah, but I'm going to just take you there anyway.
Why not?
I love that in this thing, the people are forgotten who they were, because they, under this bondage of Babylon and Assyria, they were under their rule. They were struggling. They'd forgotten who they were. You have forgotten who you were. You've been struggling. Between maybe your church, there's a lot of people here who still go to a Sunday church, or still they go, you're trying to go back and forth between things, and maybe you don't go anywhere in any fellowship, and this is all you have, but you've struggled under maybe the bondage of a job, of rule, something's ruled over you. Maybe it's family members. Something's ruling over you that's you're forgetting who you are. You're forgetting who you are. And as you're going to go through, we're going to remind you every week now, going through Devarim, Deuteronomy, we're going to remind you again who you are, whose you are. But I love this because this is Isaiah. He has to remind the people who they are because
Give us
of
the
this.
scripture again.
It's Isaiah 40:26 is when they start talking and they're griping and saying that, that their ways are hidden from the Lord and the justice due me escapes the notice of the Lord. So maybe you're feeling like you're not being noticed. You're crying out and he's not hearing you. I just want to read this to you. And I just felt like I was supposed to end with this and read it. I'm going to see if I do it right. 40:26, right? They say, lift up your eyes on high and see who created these. The one who brings out the host by number, the one who calls them all by name because of his great strength and his vast power. Not one is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob, and assert, O Israel, my way is hidden from Adonai, and the justice due me escapes the notice of my God? Have you not known and have you not heard? Adonai is the eternal God, the creator of the ends of the earth. He does not grow tired or weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives strength to the weary, and to one without vigor he adds might. Even youths grow tired and weary, and young men stumble and fall, but the one who waits for Adonai will renew their strength. We've talked about that. You guys know that verse. It's on every eagle plaque. But I just want you to know he's wanting you to bind yourself with him.
Yes.
He's saying, look at the stars, sister. I'm the one who put those up there for you.
Yeah.
I want to multiply you, your gifts, your sphere of influence. I want to do everything for you. I'm the one who did that. So maybe tonight, if it's a clear night for you to go outside and look up at the stars. He knows you get weary. He knows you're tired. He knows you got beat up at that church. He knows those women were mean to you. He knows that maybe that husband was mean to you or the sister or whatever. He knows. His arm isn't too short. His ear, he still hears. He has not forgotten. And start thanking him for how big he is and who he is. Yes. And then what that does is it brings you to remembrance, not that he's forgotten you, but it brings you back to the forefront. And he's like, oh, there's my daughter. There she is. Yeah. That's her. That other lady who's being crazy, pitiful lady, that wasn't her, but we were working with it. There she is. Mm-hmm. And I want you just to start thanking him and look and know who you are.
Amen.
Because I'm not any better than you. Brenda's not any better than you. There's nobody else here he wants to show you mystical, fun, secret things.
Yes.
He does want to show you that. Yeah.
Yes, he does. Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that verse
Deuteronomy.
so much. It speaks life.
Here we go.
Life. How exciting. And this is just the beginning.
Yes. Are you guys ready for the train? Yeah. Get your tickets. Get ready to ride. We would love to hear from you. We love hearing from you. I don't care. I'm going to pick on you now, Sherry, because you spoke up. I mean, I want Sherry, I want you this next week. I want you to post something in the portion and be like, okay, I was reading this next portion. Everything looks crazy. I don't understand anything. But I read this one thing that says, I have called you by name and you are mine. And that lifted up off the page and it made my heart sing, whatever. I want to hear really great things from you. I want everyone to say, you know what, this little 2 words jumped off the page. Yeah. Some of you were going to say, you know what? I went and watched how to do the Blue Letter Bible, or I've already known how to do this for years. And I went in there and I looked up one verse and I looked up what the Hebrew meant. And this is what I got from it. You know, that makes my heart sing. You guys want to do something? That's how you can support me. That's one. Pray for me that I'm not crazy in Lowe's, and write how you found great things, because sister, he loves you. He wants to show you great things. And we need to know, because he's going to tell you things he doesn't tell us.
He's going to tell you in a way that he hasn't told us. So we need to hear it from you. We need to hear your words, how he speaks through you, because you're valuable. You're a part of this. You're part of the sand of the sea. You're part of the stars.
Ooh, sisters, it's all good. Father, bless them, keep them. Oh, just shine on them. Let them all have a clear night tonight that they see your stars. Yes. Oh, Father, be gracious to them and pour out your shalom in their home. Amen.
Amen.
See you guys next week. Hey, everybody who
Amen.
wants to stay for the after party, yes, even though it's on the
Yes.
West Coast, so you're probably like so tired. We're still up. So we're gonna hang out in the after party. If you are on Zoom, it's not too late. You can still hop over with us over on the after party, but we will be stopping the recording. Love you all. Be blessed, be blessed, be blessed.
Love you guys.